Welcome to episode 88 of Ring Talk. Myself, Martin Theobald, and with me, Steve Goodwin. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. All good.
We've pressed record this week.
We have. We fucked up last week.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think you fucked up last week.
I fuck up every week. Some weeks we don't record.
So your wife says.
Indeed. Right, good start. Let's crack on. This week, what we've got coming up, 'cause it's massive this week. We've got Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. We've got the Golden Contract on Friday night, the MTK show, and then we've got the Warren card Saturday night from York Hall. So let's start there, because I like that fight. Oh, I like that night. So you got Brad Foster versus Lucian Reed, rematch. How do you see it?
I can't call it. I just think it's a spin of a coin. I think either can win. I think it's one of those fights going to be very close. I wouldn't be surprised to see a split decision again.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them could do much different than they did in the first fight. I think they're just evenly matched.
Yeah. I think they'd probably fight 5 times and it'll go the distance 5 times and
2-2 and a draw.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a draw either.
No. It's a good fight though, isn't it? Really, really good fight.
Better fight than that, in my opinion. Cody Davis versus Umar Sadiq on the undercard or the main support. Umar's fought on one of your shows before, hasn't he? And he fought Daryl Sharp. And I think Daryl Sharp's corner were very enthusiastic about Umar, saying that he's a good talent. Cody Davis has beaten the only man that beat Umar Sadiq in Zach Chelli.
Yeah.
How do you see that one going?
Cody Davis is favourite, but we've got to remember he was put down by Zach Chelli. You've got to remember, if you look at Umar's career, I wouldn't say it's been the greatest strategic planning of a career. I think that would be fair to say. I mean, he's been running around trying to get fights on small hall, thrown in with the Zach Chelli fight without proper preparation.
It's a difficult one because I have a personal relationship with Umar.
Yeah.
And I kind of know bits and bobs that go on behind the scenes, but he's clearly not a priority, I don't think, within that stable. I think that's fair to say. But I admire his graft and his ability to go out and find those opportunities, especially when the alternative is he could have kept his nice job in the banking industry, in the finance world, but actually he's instead going out and, as you say, he's done these small hall shows. He did your show, he did a couple of other ones off his own back, didn't make any money off them, I believe, just so that he could build those opportunities for himself.
Full credit to him. But again, if he keeps winning, if he wins against Cody Davis, he'll suddenly become a bit more of a priority for his promoter. And I think promoters are like that. Once he lost to Zach Chelli, he wasn't that relevant to them anymore. And that's when it's really build yourself back up, or it's up to you. And again, he's had to do that himself. But that's how the boxing world is quite ruthless.
But you see so many names that sit on the shelf. I think Nathan Gorman, for instance, on the back of that Daniel Dubois one. I know, promoters like yourself or any other promoter will always say, the winner can come again. And then you see Nathan Gorman sat without a fight for 6 months now, while Daniel Dubois has been moved on to a pay-per-view star on BT.
It's ruthless business, boxing. That's why you've got to manage the fighters correctly, and that's why a good manager and having a good contract is imperative.
Yeah. So who do you think wins that one?
I think Cody Davis wins, but I hope Umar Sadiq wins.
I think Umar Sadiq 1-round knockout, no problem.
Hope so. Be good. I really want Umar to win. He was a really decent guy to deal with. I really like him, and I hope he wins. He's the underdog. He's not there to win. He's on the opposing side of the card.
Yeah.
It would be good that the guy that's had to do it all himself can win the fight. So I hope Umar can win. Really hope he can win.
Yeah.
But I think Cody Davis is a worthy favourite.
Yeah, I think for a plethora of reasons, not least because I've got a personal relationship with Umar, but many other reasons, none of which are Cody Davis. I've got nothing against Cody Davis whatsoever, but there are many other reasons I'd love to see Umar win it.
And he could win, because Cody Davis fought Eric McConzo, and I wasn't that impressed with him that day. I think he's vulnerable. I think Umar has got a chance.
Yeah, but he's also a threat, Cody, to be fair, and he's not a bad fighter.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah. Right, we'll move on from that. Golden Contract. So the draw for that was today. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I've kind of lost track a little bit of the format. So there are fights this Friday. I think it's the super lightweights, isn't it? So it's Ahara Davis versus Jeffrey Ofori.
And you've got the, is it featherweights or super bantamweights and Ryan Walsh?
Yeah, are they doing them all on Friday night? Yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent. I've lost track a little bit.
You've got Ahara Davis, Jeffrey Ofori. That should be a comfortable win for Ahara, realistically.
We said that last time.
Jeffrey's boxing at the wrong way though. He's a super featherweight boxing a super lightweight. Yeah. So realistically, you can only do that for so long. So you'd imagine Ahara will be too good for
He's
him.
a big super lightweight as well. Yeah.
I think there'll be a massive difference in size. The Ryan Walsh, Tyrone McCulloch fight that's on this weekend. I mean, I'm not sure it's going to be a great watch.
I think Tyrone, he's another one who's not fighting at a natural weight, is he? In that, he's had to come up for the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Whereas Ryan Walsh is he's a definite.
Oh, you'd have to fancy Ryan Walsh for that.
Yeah, but Tyrone he makes things uncomfortable for every opponent that he's got.
Not the greatest visually.
No,
but he's very talented and skillful.
Yeah, he's skillful at what he does.
Definitely.
And then the big one, Saturday night. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
How do you see it? We're going to make an official prediction on this. So Josh is going to start making a little league table that's going to go behind us.
It's prediction on the weekend, isn't it? We're just picking Is it on that fight we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to do it on this fight.
What are we going to do? Predict the round or predict
the outcome?
I reckon. Well, I'm going Wilder stoppage.
I reckon 1 point for picking the correct winner, 1 for the right method.
Okay, Wilder by stoppage.
So do I.
So we're both the same.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be conclusive. I think it's going to be within 6.
I think this is the time when I think things catch up with fighters, and I think this is the day that things catch up with Tyson Fury. I'd like to see Fury win, but I don't think we will. I think Fury will have a situation where if he goes for it, he may be able to outbox Wilder, but I think the eye damage is going to play a part in this. I think when you suffer such a severe injury and he's not boxed well for 2 fights, I don't think he will box and on the back foot, because I think Wilder will go for that eye and I think he'll cut it, and then I think it becomes a slugfest, and I think Wilder then stops Fury.
I think the problem is for Fury that Wilder isn't a flurry puncher. He'll only aim for that one big punch. But now he's got 2 targets. He only had the one before, which is the Fury chin.
He's got the eye.
Now he's got the eye as well. You can't defend both of them for 12 rounds. Well, if you can, then brilliant. Fair play.
But I don't think he will. I think Wilder stops him. I don't think he goes to points. I think Wilder will stop him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'd love to see Fury win it. Absolutely love to.
But we're talking about what we think is going to happen, not what we want to happen.
Did you watch the documentary?
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, really good.
Was it?
And like the highlight of it for me is Paris Fury. I think what a woman. She's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant woman. She clearly has her hands full with all the kids. They've got 4 or 5 kids, can't remember. And Fury being, Fury that he is, and we kind of know and love. But she came over as such a strong, balanced woman. Brilliant. But I didn't realise there's 2 parts as well. The second one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So
I've got to catch up with that. So
yeah. So Wilder stoppage.
Wilder stoppage for me.
Yeah. No, I would be inclined to agree. Right, let's take a look at the fight you've announced recently, which is Jose Lopes, Iain Martell.
For the Southern Area Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, so that's been vacated by Nick Parker.
Yeah, with 3 weeks to go before the fight. He vacated with only 3 weeks to go, which I knew he was going to vacate this 2 months ago. Disappointed that he does it with 3 weeks to go before the fight. Because in reality, if I hadn't been sharp enough to protect Jose Lopez's interests, then Jose would have been left without a fight. But fortunately, we're good at what we do.
You had Martell.
We knew that was possible, and we therefore moved quickly with the board to get that fight sanctioned, which we did in literally a morning. Got all the terms agreed, got it done, and appreciate the board, Graham Everett, and everybody else involved in what is a cracking fight.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed that he done that 3 weeks before, because you've got to have respect for other boxers.
Yeah.
Whether you want to have respect for the promoters, whether you want to have respect for the managers, you should have respect for other people that go through what you go through, which is train and prepare for a fight. And when you really, as you know, and we can say this on camera, I predicted to you this, you know this, right?
Yep.
I predicted this 6 weeks ago that he would vacate, did I not?
Yep.
And so I know, and he vacated with 3 weeks to go, which in normal circumstances would have meant that I would have fucked up Lopes, who was training for that fight.
So in normal circumstances, in that scenario, Lopes wouldn't have got a title fight, would have been probably in a 6 or 8 rounder.
Correct. And would have had to try and schedule a fight for May.
And now at 3 weeks' notice, he's in a title fight over 10 rounds.
And delayed it by a week to help Iain Martell, but everybody's had to move. So I don't feel that's appropriate behaviour to a fellow boxer. That's my opinion.
I mean, you've had the same view before of Anthony Yard, different circumstances, but when he held that Southern Area belt, he won off Chris Hobbs. Not saying held it hostage, but held it beyond when he needed to. You kind of think the same scenario here with...
It's just, I just think that fighters should respect other fighters, because other people are training. I mean, the Yard thing's not as bad because nobody was preparing to fight for it. It was bad, but when you've got a fighter who's preparing for March the 7th, and you therefore wait till 3 weeks before that March the 7th before you vacate, which would not normally give anybody a chance to get a replacement in for a title fight at 3 to 4 weeks' notice, would it? So it was only because I had the foresight to think that may happen that we were able to put a contingency plan in place.
So let's focus on the positives out of it. Jose Lopes, Iain Martell.
It's a great fight.
Yeah. So Martell's undefeated. Jose Lopes.
I think it's an actual better fight than the original fight. I think it's an actual far better fight.
I agree.
And I think what you've got here is one of the hardest hitting cruiserweights around in Martell, who hits like a train.
Ex-MMA fighter, you were saying.
Who hits like a train against Lopes, who was a brilliant amateur, and I don't believe we have seen 50-60% of how good he is. So I hope now that we're going to see that, because if we see that, he'll win.
Yeah.
If we don't see that, Martell wins. But it isn't going to be a snooze fest. I would say not only could it be fight of the night, it could be fight of the month. I think it's that good a fight.
Yeah, I've always thought, and I think I'm on record a while back saying with Lopes, there's something there that I don't think we've seen yet. And I think this comes down possibly to whether Terry Coulter can pull that out of him.
I'd agree.
In the same way that he extended and prolonged the career of Wadi Camacho, picking up titles that Wadi hadn't previously managed to do. If Terry Coulter can do the same thing with Jose Lopes, get those small percentages, those small incremental advantages out of him, then I can see... I don't know enough about Iain Martell, so I can't make a prediction about the fight particularly. But if we see the version of Jose Lopes that I think is there, then it would be hard to bet against him.
But it's a great fight on a great night of boxing now.
Yeah.
You've got 3 Southern Area title fights on the same night.
So run through those quickly.
Dean Richardson defending his belt against Conrad Stemkowski. Stemkowski's coming to win, it's his big night, and Sean Phillips fights for the vacant middleweight title against Davis Pagan.
Yeah.
Both fighters hungry. I think it's 3 back-to-back fights at the end of the night.
It's March 14th.
Fights. Yeah, 3 fights right at the end of the night. 1, 2, 3. And what a great finish to the night, I think.
And myfighttickets.net for people that want to get them. .com. I always say .net. I don't know where to get that from.
Yeah, .com for CF tickets for it. But no, I mean, the shows in March apparently are selling very well. So people are coming out, and I saw somebody on Twitter the other day saying he's bought tickets for all the shows.
Yeah, ringside tickets for all 3, I think.
Yeah, so well done to him. But I'm glad that people are enjoying the shows enough that they want to come. So so make sure if you haven't got tickets, you get them, because it is really, really selling out. Another fight that we can announce, second fight, Brad Pauls.
Oh, I don't know this one.
You don't?
No.
Okay. He's fighting,
actually, no, I have seen it.
He's fighting in a final eliminator for the English title.
Yeah.
Against Mick Hall from a tough man from up north, and that's all. The deal's been done for that. So that's going to take place in April.
Is that going to go at Plymouth?
Looks likely to.
I know there's a potential alternative.
Yeah, the potential alternative. So yeah, it's either we'll know whether the potential alternative is happening within the next week, but if not, it'll be on at Plymouth. And it's Brad stepping up again. He's making his move towards the English title, same as his stablemate Linus Udofia, who defends that title on the 21st.
So that's an eliminator, not a final
That's
eliminator? A final?
Final.
That'd put you in an awkward position, wouldn't it? So if Linus is holding the belt...
He won't hold the belt when that. He's not going to fight Brad, so that's not...
Yeah, no, exactly.
Everybody's on board because everybody's on board with what we're doing. It's not being done independently. We're all on board with it all.
So do you have to go via Terry Coulter? Terry Stewart as like the conduit to...
Well, no, I just spoke to Brad, but spoke to Linus. And Linus is going to defend it, but at that, he can move on. He won't be fighting Brad, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Linus has got his eyes, providing he successfully defends the English. Later in the year, he'll get a knock of something bigger. So that's our plan with Linus.
All right, excellent. Any other fights you want to discuss, or are we going to come on to them next week?
We'll come on to them next week, but they're the 2 fights that we've actually signed, sealed and delivered in the last 7 days.
All right, awesome. Right, so we're going to move on now to my weekly rant, and then when we come back from that, we're going to hear from Neil Parry and hear a bit about how Neil's getting on. He's got a fight coming up in March. We'll discuss more about him on the other side of a rant. So let's go to that now.
Martin's Weekly Rant.
Right, this week, Tyrone McKenna released a video that was phenomenal. And it was done alongside my friend Ali McKenzie over in Ireland. And it's in the build-up to his Golden Contract fight coming up this Friday. Took the piss out of himself, good-humoured, amusing. Got the message across that, he ultimately he's serious about it, but he's willing to have a laugh about himself. Brilliantly shot, brilliantly done with Ali. And it made me think about the fighters out there that aren't making this kind of content. That's been shared and viewed. Last time I looked, over 50,000 times, 50,000 views of people that will now know who Tyrone McKenna is. Maybe wouldn't have known about him before. It's been shared by the likes of Kugan Cassius and various others on Twitter. All these people, and I know Ali very well, and he's an aspiring kind of film director, cameraman, all these things. But there are people out there like Ali that are willing to help boxers. If boxers get in contact with them, boxers come up with ideas, or even just talk to them and they'll come up with the ideas, I'm sure. Making that content isn't that hard to do in terms of working with somebody collaboratively and getting your name out there. So please, boxers out there, give it some thought, give it some ideas, get in contact with people, get in contact with me and I'll put you in contact with people that have been more than willing to help you out. There's a lad pulling the punch on Twitter who does some brilliant photography work, he can do camera work, all these types of people that are out there willing to help boxers, ones that want to create their own portfolios. It's an opportunity for people to get their name known by other people that wouldn't necessarily see them or know about them. So please, boxers, if you've got the opportunity, down at Goodwin Boxing, they've got a green screen that I'm sat in front of right now. Come down and do some shooting in front of that. The opportunity's there for you. Spend that time, invest it in yourself, which is ultimately investing it in your career, making sure people know who you are, increasing your chance of ticket sales. So please, boxers, give some thought to it. There we go, off my chest. Right, Neil Parry. What date's he fighting? Let's start there.
14th of March.
Okay, so Neil, young lad still, isn't he? And whether his kind of baby face belies how old he is, I'm not sure.
Yeah, just 25.
Okay.
I think he's not had the continuity, or he hasn't had the momentum for various reasons. Nothing to do with that ourselves, but he's had some issues and various things haven't gone right for him. But hopefully he's going to build some momentum now and go towards a title shot. He's needed time to mature. He's definitely somebody that's improving fast.
Yeah.
And he's definitely building up man strength. And I'm looking forward to seeing a really good performance from him on the 14th. And I think we can confidently go towards titles at the end of the year. But he's just got to get this done first. Maybe one more in the summer, and then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. He's changed as a fighter since he joined Billy Rumble. Whether that's because of Billy's influence or whether that's because, as you say, it's kind of man strength, he's developed a bit physically. I don't know what the answer to that is. I suspect maybe a little bit of both. But from his early days, I always liked Neil. He was one of the only fighters who's ever acknowledged, when I have to write fight reports about, I don't have to, when I choose to write fight reports about people, and sometimes it's difficult to write the criticisms because ultimately I'm not a professional boxer. I'm not in any place to criticise Neil Parry for not using his jab enough, but I kind of like to give an opinion, if nothing else. And Neil on Facebook kind of commented, and I thought, oh shit, here we go, I'm going to get slated here, because I think I'd said he didn't have enough of an output or something like that. And Neil came back and wrote on it and said, I completely agree. Like, I don't think I did enough in that fight, and I'll learn from it. But I thought, wow, like someone who's not just there to mouth off at people that, you know, aren't professional boxers but have an opinion. I thought, if that's indicative of how he handles feedback from others, you know, people like Billy Rumble that know a million times more than I do, then brilliant. Like he'll be absorbing information as he goes along. So I've got a lot of time for Neil. What's he like to manage?
Pleasure. It's good as gold. He's no problem. He's renewed his contract a year ago with us. He showed loyalty to us. You know, it hasn't always gone smoothly for him, but I can honestly say I really genuinely like him. I think he's a really nice chap, and I hope he can go on and win titles, and I think the end of the year will show us, and I think he's capable, more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he gets a few fights on the bounce,
yes,
3 in a year,
he needs to get the momentum going and then go, and then I think he can do it.
Yeah,
he can do it.
Alright, well, we're going to hear from Neil himself now. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself, his background and his upcoming fight.
Hello everyone, my name's Neil Parry. I'm 26 years old from Canterbury in Kent. I'm a welterweight boxer with a record of 8 fights, 6 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. I'm currently in preparation for my 9th professional contest on Saturday the 14th of March at York Hall, Bethnal Green. I'm looking forward to kick-starting 2020 with a good performance and moving on to bigger and better things come towards the end of 2020. A little bit about myself really, I suppose. My career has been a bit of an up and down career. You could say started off, I turned pro at 21, had my first 3 fights in quite a quick succession, 3 fights and 3 wins, and I was, you know, moving to where I wanted to go to. Obviously being 21, 22 years old, I was still quite immature, hadn't quite fully grown up, I suppose, and I started to take my career for granted, which looking back on it now, you know, isn't the greatest thing, but for me it taught me a lot of lessons. You know, I started going into camp a little bit heavier, started struggling a little bit more with the weight, not because I was getting too big, just because actually the choices I was making weren't the right ones. I paid for it. I lost my first fight. In my 4th fight I got well beat. I have to admit it, but it comes with a territory. 9 times out of 10 people grow from that and will move on. I didn't. I'd done the same thing again. I come into camp heavy. I took off a lot of weight, and in my 5th fight I suffered a draw, which again wasn't ideal, far from ideal in fact. Alongside that, I had a head clash in the 4th round of the fight, and I fractured my eye socket. And alongside that, I fractured my cheekbone too. It was the same injury that Kelbrook had when he boxed Golovkin. So it wasn't great whatsoever. Once that happened, obviously I had to have surgery on that, and there was a bit of a recovery time needed to obviously get back to full health and you know, get ready to fight again. Throughout that time, I sort of felt a little bit sorry for myself, and I ballooned up in weight. Didn't really want to box anymore. And sort of pretty much walked away from the sport really. I went up to 89 kilos. I boxed at welterweight, so that's a massive weight increase, and I was done with the sport, to be honest with you. But I sort of got in contact with my now trainer Billy Rumble, you know, over Instagram. Had a little bit of a conversation with him. Went down to the gym. I don't think he expected me to turn up and be the overweight, unfit guy that I was, but he took me under his wing, trained with me, told me that, you know, if you want to do this, you need to do it properly. And you know, I'd done that. In a 4-month period, I went from 89 kilograms down to 69, and I had my 6th professional fight, and my first fight with Billy, which we won. And from then onwards, we've had 3 fights together and 3 wins. I'm starting to get my career back on track now, which is exactly what I wanted. You can see the improvements that I'm making every single fight, which is great, and I'm finally getting the rewards out of boxing that I'd sort of deserved but wasn't working hard enough for. You know, it takes some time to grow up, and I done that, which I'm happy for, and I owe a lot to Billy Rumble for doing that for me and sort of taking me under his wing. And he didn't need to. He could have easily turned around and said to me, "Look, mate, you're too far gone," but he didn't, and he took me in under his wing, and I'm forever grateful for that, really. Obviously, I'm not saying this sort of things to make people feel sorry for me. Obviously, with the loss and the draw and stuff, I was a kid, I was immature, and I've learnt from that. I go into camp now, I'm not too heavy, I'm doing the right things, I'm training hard, and now I can really reap the rewards for that. March 14th, again, I'm looking to put on another stellar performance and really push on with my career. I've been highly, at times, criticised for lack of punches thrown and things like that, but I think if you look back from my first 3 fights, I was constantly throwing punches. I was fit and I was strong, and I was showing people what I could do. I had the 2 blips, and it wasn't through not throwing punches or not through wanting to let my hands go. Unfortunately, I was just physically and mentally drained from it all, and that has resulted in those performances. So now when you're starting to see me and you're watching me fight, and I'm landing more shots, I'm throwing more shots, it's because I'm fit, it's because I'm making the weight properly, and I'm taking my career seriously. So March 14th, you're going to see a much better improved performance from myself. My goals for 2020 really is to win the Southern Area title. That has always been a goal of mine. And I believe I can and I will achieve that given the opportunity. I'm with a great management team. I feel that they can help me achieve that goal, and that's the aim for 2020. So if anyone wants to get in contact with me for tickets for March the 14th, do so on Instagram. It's Neil Parry Box. I'm trying to get my name out there as much as I can this year, so anyone who wants to get involved, then please let me know. As always, I'd like to say a massive thank you to my sponsors, Lawson Environmental Services, who have been with me since day one. They've supported me throughout everything, the highs and the lows of my boxing career. So I just want to say a massive thank you to them, and thank you to every single person who's ever brought a ticket to my fight. I appreciate it so much. See you March 14th.
There you go, Neil. Thank you very much for sending that in and telling us all about yourself. We're going to move on to the Trevorism.
Trevor Padden's Trevorism.
So Trevor has bypassed you this week and come straight to me because he thought it was a conflict of interest in sending it to you directly, which hopefully you'll understand in a minute. So I'm going to get his text that he sent to me. Right, my Trevorism for the week. When a boxer leaves his promoter and or manager, I believe that promoter and or manager should put out a highlight reel showing how bad they were when they were under their guidance. This can include them being knocked down or knocked out during the time under their tenure. In the same way that when you sign a new boxer, you put all the energy into making the great promo work, I think when they leave somebody, not necessarily just you, but others, then that same energy should go into showing their liabilities. Thank you very much, Trevor. What do you reckon?
Oh my God. I think one thing I'd agree with, I mean, we bury footage that show fighters in bad light.
Which is understandable.
And the footage that you bury sometimes, even though you've got rights to publish it, is footage that would generate money for other boxers, which is something that we...
Especially... all boxing fans want to see a highlight reel knockout.
Yeah.
All boxing fans do. As much as you love the sweet science elements, if you can also get a 1 minute clip that ends in a massive knockout, then most boxing fans will watch it.
And it's sadly true. People like that. I think it depends. I can understand if you feel somebody has wronged you and they think they are the next coming of Floyd Mayweather and you've got video evidence to prove otherwise, you might feel a bit thingy to publish stuff that you otherwise haven't published before. I can see why people would release stuff and put it out, stuff that they buried for the benefit of that fighter. Then I guess once they leave them, they're not there to look after that fighter anymore in that way, so they would put footage out.
But you wouldn't make a highlight package when they leave of their worst moments.
I don't think so, but I don't think there's any harm in releasing footage of things that you would normally have released if they weren't under your care.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, the point is, if you can release views make money. So therefore, if that particular boxer's not with you anymore and his footage generates money for other boxers who are with you, that's fair game, I think.
Fair enough. And on that note, you managed to make money out of these videos that's been passed on to a boxer.
Yeah, we've managed to help. Well, we've managed to help. It's actually updated now. We've managed to help 3 boxers now.
Right.
I'm not going to mention who they are. Probably unfair to do so. But yeah, so 3 boxers have received help, financial assistance, as a result of the videos going out there and us getting some revenue from it.
Yeah, which is a direct result of these videos, the fight videos, any content you put on the Goodwin box.
That's what we said. Anything we get, we'll do that, and that's why I say to you, get people to subscribe, get people to watch, because we're probably, I think, unless I'm going to be corrected, the only channel that directly passes any money to the boxers.
Yeah, you and I don't take a penny out of this.
No. But we're the only channel that does, passes it. We benefit boxers, so we're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, which is brilliant. When you told me about that last week, it's brilliant that actually that money, it's not huge amounts of money, it's not tens of thousands of pounds, but it's enough that can go towards, you know, taking some of the burden off the ticket sales or some of the burden off the new fight equipment or whatever it is that they require. Just small amounts that can be handed out and dispersed amongst the stable.
You can't help, but you can't help, and again, you can't help the same person every time, and you can't help everybody all the time. So it's just something now and again, as and when we spent the budget now, budget's gone, so we have to now build up a new budget again.
Yeah. So get more people to watch.
Yeah, more people to watch, the more chance we've got of helping. But you know who's been helped, but I don't really want to go on here and say, you know, so there it is. So.
Yeah. All right, excellent. So thank you very much to everyone that's ever watched or shared or told their mates to come and watch it, because every single one of those views has helped go towards that. Right, Q&A session for the week. So let's start off with Tim Brown has asked, hope you're both good. We are, thank you, Tim. Now Brexit is happening, what do you think the impact will be on foreign/UK journeymen, and will this mean we get more 50-50 fights earlier on in fighters' careers?
I think that's very possible. I think, although what I would start saying, there are more UK journeymen now than they have been for many years.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, we are fine. Yeah, there are more. I would say we went through a period 18 months ago where we were just having to recruit probably 50 to 60% of foreign opponents.
Yeah.
Now it's not at that level. It's probably in the region of 20% foreign opponents. So it has been easier. However, with Brexit coming, it may be even more difficult to do it. And remembering that foreign opponents can cost as much as 50 to 70% more money than a UK opponent.
Because you're flying them over, you're putting them up in a hotel,
transporting them, giving them food money, paying their temporary licence fee to the board, which is boxing trainers £200 a boxer
per fight, or
per fight.
No.
So if you've got £150 for a foreign boxer,
wow,
and £150 for a foreign trainer. So if they're over here, you've got to pay all of that to the board on top of purse, flights, accommodation, travel. Yeah, so it's expensive, and but there are more UK journeymen. So. But yes, there could be even a problem where the cost for foreign boxers becomes so cost prohibitive that you can't recruit them. Then if you can't recruit them because you can't make it work unless it's a TV fight, then you're starting to get real problems. Then UK journeyman it might cost more.
Yeah. But I mean, there must be a balancing point, because, as you say, kind of if you start needing temporary work visas for every journeyman that you fly over as well, if that comes into effect.
Yeah. Who's going to pay for them?
Yeah, then as you say, if the UK journeymen clock onto it and raise their prices by £500 per fight.
Yeah, I doubt if they'll do that, but it could go up a bit. But it doesn't take much for opponents to put the prices up to make the whole promotion non-viable. It's tough enough to break even as it is. So if you get that happening, you then end up with either boxers' ticket sales having to go up, or you end up with less boxers fighting, and it becomes it becomes a real difficult problem. So I think there are definite problems, but it does mean that UK journeymen shouldn't get greedy and should be relatively fair. I mean, if you've got a UK journeyman heavyweight, he'll get paid more.
Phil Williams.
Phil gets paid more than somebody of a welterweight.
Did a job with Dominic Akinlade, didn't he?
Yeah. So Phil gets well paid as a heavyweight. That's acceptable. But if you've got a welterweight, hopefully, we keep the fees fair to everybody, so that everybody makes money, including, or promoters don't lose too much money, and the boxers all the ticket sellers make money, and the journeyman makes money. It's a difficult balancing act, but foreign opponents have gone up massively in price over the last 2 years, because the euro obviously used to be 140, now it's trading at 116, so there's a big difference in cost. Most foreign airlines are based, the ones we use in Eastern Europe, they're based on their prices. Those prices have risen, so it's become very expensive to get foreigners in. So yes, it could be a real problem.
If you had a light heavyweight journeyman, would you encourage him to get fat, and then he could go up to heavyweight?
No, I don't want to get him hurt.
No, but you don't put him with anyone like world class. But if you had, no,
Just
me then.
No, just you.
Question 2 from Tim Brown. Yours and other promoters like you, when having boxers fight on Sky or BT, what is the result? Because they don't get that bigger payday, and they normally fight before Facebook even starts, so they're not getting the benefit of lots of people watching them. So the real question is, why do you do it?
Are we talking about home or away?
Let's say home.
Okay, as a home fighter, there's no, the reason that a fighter would do it, they would hope that the promoter might think, yes, we want to sign you. That's why they do it. Although how many do actually get signed?
Yeah.
In reality,
I can't think.
Fabio Wardley's the last one I remember.
Jack Cullen, is he signed?
Jack Cullen was fighting on TV. We're talking about the ones that fight off TV.
Oh, okay, right, got you.
If you fight on TV,
I think the ones that went on there.
No, so the ones that are on early, ticket selling, early fight. So Jack Cullen was the away fight to fight cash. So what we're talking about here is the ticket sellers who fight on the undercard.
But even Wardley's got that weigh in with Dillian White, hasn't he? Which
that just got him the shot on the Sky card. It was how he dismantled Phil that got him. Adam Smith loved him.
Oh,
that's how he got it. So that was nothing to do with Dillian White getting him. Dylan White had John Arding Jr., Dwayne Sinclair. They didn't get signed. So
he got Fabio through the door, but he did the business.
Yeah, Fabio did. That's totally different. So. So let's take it there. So you've got that becomes an opportunity, but you've got to be devastating to do that. An average performance doesn't get that.
Yeah.
So they're hoping for that. Secondly, it gives their fans the chance to go to a different venue to what they normally would. So they will go and fight under the bright lights of a show, and it may help them in terms of promote themselves. In terms of actual exposure and monetary rewards, probably not really an advantage. But of course, if you've got a fighter that's fought at York Hall and he gets a chance to fight the O2 Arena, to go to your friends and say, I'm good enough to fight the O2 Arena, that's a big help.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think? What's your view?
I find it difficult. Like, I can see why, if you're a boxer, you want to go and do it, because you look back to Dean Richardson fighting on the George Groves undercard, didn't he, against Jamie Cox at Wembley Arena.
Mm-hmm.
What an experience for him. And if he ever one day makes his way through those levels, and maybe he becomes part of a main undercard for a fight at Wembley Arena. He's now been through that process.
Mm-hmm.
Kay Prospery fought on the undercard of the David Hay ones, didn't he? He's been through some of those big moments, and I think everything that you can do that builds up your mental approach to how big events happen, brilliant. Because if you get there one day, you've gone through the process.
So, but there's no massive. I agree, no massive edge from that. But there are ancillary bits, as you said and I've said, that do help.
Yeah,
them.
the intangible elements that you can't really put a price on.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Final one for this week. Question from Will Michael on Twitter. Favourite crisps? Top 10 please, Steve, in no particular order.
Salt and vinegar, prawn cocktail, salt and vinegar.
It's the big boxing questions that people
See,
really
I
want to know about.
I don't have any other crisps.
Just salt and vinegar?
Prawn cocktail maybe, but apart from that, if I'm really stuck and starving, cheese and onion, but I don't really have them.
They'd be last of my.
You have all the funny ones, don't you?
Yeah. Salt and vinegar would be last out of my
the
multi-pack selection. Nah.
Send them up to me then.
Yeah, no, I will. It's a bit like when you get a selection box at Christmas, like crunchies and bounties.
Oh, in there, how's the salt and vinegar go?
No, I'm not having that. Steak, something like that. First of all, salt and vinegar's last.
No.
Right, there we go. Now we've got the big box and chowed away. We'll be back next week. You're going to be doing the bit with Kev, reviewing the weekend's stuff, and then we'll kind of tag on to the end of it.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So thank you very much for watching once again. We go back to the fact that you watching raises income for boxers, which is fantastic. So thank you very much. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week.